the messenger of Allah, weeping, and they said, "There is nothing left to add to that. May Allah reward you, O crown of the knowledgeable ones." A comprehensive definition causes of the love of Allah. Ibn Taymiyyah d.728h. Rahimahullah, the first cause is man's love for himself. Says, there cannot be clearer and his drive to perfect his own creation. Recognition of Mahabba than this, and this leads directly to loving Allah because this recognition in itself increases love for man's very existence and attributes about Allah. And people have discussed at the gift of Allah whose grace and kindness lengths about Mahabba, its causes, its have brought man from behind the curtain signs, its fruits, its supports and its rulings, of non-existence into this visible world. The most comprehensive of what has man's preservation and eventual been said about this is what Abu Bakr al-attainment of perfection are also entirely Qahtani relates from al-Junayd d.297h, dependent upon Allah's grace. It would, Abu Bakr al-Qahtani said, a discussion indeed be a wonder if one should take, about Mahabba took place in Mecca, refuge from the heat of the sun under the during pilgrimage season, the Sheikh's shadow of a tree and not be grateful to the who were present spoke about this topic, tree, without which there would be no, and al-Junayd being the youngest of them, shadow at all. On precisely the same way, they said to him, "What do you say? Oh, were it not for Allah, man would have a Raki." So al-Junayd lowered his head and neither existence nor attributes at all. Tears were gushing from his eyes. Then he, the second cause of this love is that said, man loves his benefactor, and in truth, his a servant should overcome his soul, only benefactor is Allah, for whatever and be continuous in the remembrance of kindness man receives from fellow his Lord, establishing the rights of his Lord, creatures is due to the immediate focusing upon him with his heart, the instigation of Allah, whatever the motive, light of fear setting ablaze his heart, whilst that may have prompted the kindness he drinking from the vessel of pure love, and receives from others. Allah is the one who, certain hidden realities being unveiled for set that motive to work, him. So when he talks, it is due to Allah. The third cause of man's love of Allah is when he speaks, it is from Allah. When he his contemplation of the beautiful moves, it is by the command of Allah, and attributes of Allah, his power and wisdom. When he is serene, then it is from Allah. He of which human power and wisdom belongs to Allah, is for Allah and is with but the feeblest reflections. 27 Allah. Page. Signs of the love of Allah. He will love worshipping him. His heart is attached to the masjid and he loves the. He should not dislike the thought of Quran. He waits to offer prayer and enjoys death, for no friend shrinks away from it and not just offer prayers because they going to see a dear and beloved friend. The heir and obligation on him. Companion Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, may worshipping Allah becomes easy. Allah be pleased with him, narrated that the Prophet Muhammad said, whoever he loves those who obey Allah and wishes to meet Allah, Allah wishes to meet detest those who disbelieve in him and him. Al-Bukhari. It is true, one who disobey him. Allah the Almighty says, sincerely loves Allah may shrink away from what means. You will not find a people. The thought of dying before he is fully who believe in Allah and the last day, prepared to meet his beloved one in the having affection for those who oppose next world, but one would think, he should Allah and his messenger, even if they work diligently to prepare for that shall their fathers or their sons or their brothers, meeting ahead of time, or their kindred, those, he has decreed, within their hearts faith and supported one should be willing to sacrifice his them with spirit from him. And we will own will to Allah's, should cling to what admit him to gardens beneath which brings him nearer to him, and should shun rivers flow, wherein they abide eternally, all that distances him from Allah. One's Allah is pleased with them, and their commission of sins is no proof that one pleased with him, those are the party of does not love Allah at all, but it proves that Allah. Unquestionably, the party of Allah is he does not love him with his whole heart, the successful. Quran 18:22. Al-Fudhail ibn Iyad Ra once said, if anyone asks you whether you love Allah, they are not afraid of the blame and keep silent, for if you say, I do not love reproach of the blamers, this being the him, you are a non-believer, and if you say, truest characteristic of Mahabba, if the I do, your deeds may contradict your one claiming Mahabba, whilst loving his claim, beloved, fears the blames and reproaches or others, then this is in reality, not they strive in the path of Allah with the considered to be true Mahabba, soul, the hand, the tongue, and with wealth and property. This is the characteristic by which the true Mahabba is ascertained. The remembrance of Allah should always remain fresh in one's heart, for what one loves, one constantly remembers, and if that love is perfect, 128 would never forget it. Page. When Allah loves someone, I am his hearing with which he hears, i.e. he does not listen to anything